welcome back to my channel. This is Shayna, the unique one. It is really raining outside, so if the light is not that good, I apologize. But anyway, we're going back to the video where we're doing the comic book series. My kids challenged me to read 5 comic books, and I was going to review each of comic book. Actually, I thought it was 5, but it's actually 6. But anyway, moving on along. The first comic book that I read was Storm, which was this one. And the second one in the series the second one out of the 6 that I read was Effigy, which is this one. So I actually read the first one, and this is the second one of that same series, Effigy, okay? The premise of the story was about a young girl, basically a young woman, who, as a kid, she was a child star, and basically in her series of this of her being a child star, she was a space cop, and basically she in her adult life she's actually a real cop, and so the story goes along about that. So that's what this is about. And then it goes into other it goes into a case and blah blah blah, whatever. But anyway, that's the premise of the story of her being a child star. So now, if you remember in the first one when I read Storm, I said my kids would ask me questions and I would answer questions about that comic book. So that's this part of the video where we're going to go into where my kids are going to ask me questions about Effigy. And I'm going to try to answer them to the best of my ability. I can't talk. But anyway, I just want to also let you know, a disclaimer, that this is basically I'm going to give you a spoiler alert about the stories. So if you want to continue on with the video, I would really love for you to follow me as I go into the story. But I'm letting you know right now, if you haven't read it, I'm going to give you some spoilers about it. And not just that, but also my kids when they ask me questions. So without further ado, let's go into the questions part of the story of this video. In the story, her mother is basically, first of all, I want to say I'm not too fond of her mother. And the reason I'm not fond of her mother is because she's kind of, I won't say pushy or bossy. She's not really pushy or bossy. What's the word I'm looking for? She's kind of like a stage mom, one of those moms that, you know, push their daughter, but push them, and basically living life through her daughter as a star. And I feel like a lot of bad choices that she make, I feel like a lot of them are made because of her mother. And that's why I'm not too fond of her mother in the story. So that's how I feel about her mother. The thing that I really liked about the story was I liked the storyline, the mystery part of it. One thing about it is I liked that her okay, in the story, I'm jumping ahead to basically the second one. But anyway, it's a scene where the captain calls her. Well, that happens in the first one, and then it continues into the second one. But the captain of her, you know, her captain calls her to a murder scene, and she don't really know exactly what's happening. But anyway, when she gets there, it's a victim there, and basically the victim has this tattoo of something that they say at the end of every episode of the show. And anyway, they have to go to this scene where they go to where she talks about a kid, a little boy who was also in the show, and they have to go to him to get more information because he's like this person who knows everything about the show, every episode, every, you know, whatever. But anyway, my favorite part of it when she got to him, and basically when she got to him, he wasn't a boy anymore, he was a girl. And it was kind of like a twist to me, because I wasn't expecting that. Even though I read that part, something about it, but I didn't, it was like a twist that kind of like a mystery, I should say. But that part I really enjoyed because it was kind of an awkward moment. It was kind of like an awkward moment for her. And it caught her off guard as well as me. So it's kind of like that was, I actually like that part of the story. So, I mean, it's kind of, you know, but anyway, that's what I liked. What I didn't like about this, I didn't like it because it was really choppy. It went from one story to another story and it didn't flow really good to that story. And the only reason that it flowed from one comic to the next real good is because it was a continuation of that story. So I feel like it didn't really, I feel like it, I'm not saying it did answer questions for each story line, but it didn't flow good. I don't feel like it flowed good. For example, it in the first one, when you first start reading it, it starts off as she's this child star in this show, Effigy show, space show, what I can't remember the name of it, but anyway, it starts off her doing that, and then it cuts off from that and it goes straight into her being a cop in her adult life. It didn't really, to me, I don't feel like it really flowed really well, transitioned into that story well, and that's what I don't think I really liked that part. And it gave you so many different stories to where it bounced from here to there to there to there to there, and I don't feel like it flowed, transitioned really well, and I think that's one thing I didn't like about it. The thing about her mother doing that, I feel like, just like I said about it, is that she was one of those moms that she's trying to keep her child in this limelight, and I feel like she's not doing it for her. She's not doing it for her daughter's sake. She's doing it for her sake, to keep not only her child in the limelight, but to keep herself in the limelight. Because of course, if you are famous, your child, if your child is famous, you know, you have to be that face behind the kid, you know. And we see that a lot, you know, in real life. We do see that a lot, and a lot of these kid stars are now, some of them are you know, I don't want to say crazy, but they're not, they don't have the tools to be
they're going through.
But as far as being an adult, it's like they don't know how to be an adult, because I guess because of the, I don't know, I won't say their upbringing, but you do see that a lot these days, you know. But anyway, that's how I felt about that. I don't feel like her mother, I feel like it was something that her mother did to push her to keep her in the limelight, and it really didn't help. I'll put it like that. And the thing about that was, to me, I know, you know, don't take my black card away, please, but I really didn't realize that she was black until that particular scene. And I was, you know, before we did the video, I was going to ask my kids, but I know every time I said something about it, wait till the video, you know. So to me, I felt like that scene to me was, you know, was kind of a scene that, you know, we all basically deal with, you know, not just in the acting or actor part of the world, but in real life we deal with that. You know, we have to, we get, I'm not saying that we get told that all the time, but we do often get told, you know, oh, you got to work extra hard because you're this, and because you're black, or you know, you have to you know, get used to that because you're black. You know, that's something that I've heard more than once. You know, get used to certain things because you're a black woman. You know, you have to get used to that type of attitude because you're a black woman. Or how people feel about your attitude. They think that you're mean, that black women are mean and we are hateful. We just the ghetto, whatever. Not all black women are ghetto. Not all black women are, you know, mean and loud. You know, I'm not going to say I'm not loud. I do have my moments, but I try not to put myself in a situation to where people will automatically assume that that's how I am. And so that in that moment, it made me realize, you know, that, you know, this is what we deal with all the time. And that's how I felt about that particular scene, you know. But another thing about that is, why should we have to get used to something that, you know, we shouldn't have to get used to certain things that, you know, if we are human beings and it's part of life, you know, we just trying to, and when I say we, I mean actresses and black actresses and, you know, black singers and black, you know, designers, you know, whatever. We just trying to we just trying to get to a place that everybody else is in, and to be able to be put in that bubble is kind of a hard thing. So for her to have to hear that and have to deal with that is kind of a close to home situation, in basically what I'm trying to say. Well, the good thing about it is that even though that the character said that to her, she was actually a star. She was the star of this particular TV show, and it was really popular. So, you know, we do sometimes get over those hurdles, and it was good to see that. So, you know, it was good in that way to prove her wrong. You know what I'm saying? Don't get used to, get used to it, but rather than her getting used to it, she, you know, found herself above that. So that was a good thing to see, that, you know, not only did she hear this from this woman, but she didn't have to get used to that because she was the star of this particular TV show. Well, we know that particular issue that would be probably another video. I mean, we can talk about that, you know, but at the same time, we don't want to. It's kind of like, you know, we can talk about that, but we want people to hear what we have to say. And that's the thing that I would like to bring to that. You know, it's kind of like, you know, yes, she did talk about it. They talked about it and they left it alone. But at the same time. But anyway, we're going to go to another question, because we can go on and on about that. You know, that question is a whole another realm of a video. I think the only way that I would go further into the comic series would be to see how the mystery ends, and that's the only way that I would move on into the mystery part of it. I mean, you know, into the series, was it, you know, just to see how that particular story that the mystery that they gave in it, how it moves on and how it ends. That's the only reason I would go on into the next one. But now, as far as Storm, the first one I read, I would read that one again, because I did enjoy it. You know, it was some things that I didn't like about it, but that was like a minor thing. But I really would go in further along in the story, because I did like that comic. I did like that story, I should say. If you said that it got canceled, it really wouldn't bother me per se. You know, the only thing that I would be sad about is that I didn't know how it ended. But I mean, I wouldn't be too sad, because I mean, it's a nice story. I just feel like, you know, it's not the story for me, I should say. You know, I did like some parts of it, but it wasn't really a story that that I would just run to the comic book store and say, "Oh, I just got to have Effigy. I just got to have it." You know, that wouldn't be something that I would be really running for. So, but excuse me, it was a good story. I did like it, and it was a lot about it that I didn't like. But I wouldn't be too sad. if it was canceled. Why is it canceled? Okay. So, but anyway, that would be. Now about the cover, I don't particularly like this cover. This one is interesting. I do like that a little bit, but I'm not too fond of this one. So, I mean, I don't know if that has something to do with it. So, now about this one, I feel like to rate it, I would rate it maybe, I want to say maybe, three light bulbs out of 5. I would rate it that. The first one was interesting, but I think the second comic was more interesting than the first to me. And out of, if I had to choose between the two, I think this one was the one that really made me want to read a little further. And this one, I would probably rate this one 2 light bulbs out of 5, and this one I would rate maybe 3 out of 5. But if I had to rate both. Anyway, I just want to tell you guys, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of this video series with me. And I just want to say that you guys, if you could give me any suggestions, and if you have any comic books that you want me to read, you can comment, and please give it a thumbs up, you guys, if you like this video. And even if you didn't like it, let me know why you didn't like it. Why, if I should continue with these series, these video series. And also, I want to tell you thank you. And please, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. So, without further ado, I want to tell you guys, thank you for joining me for my video. This is Shayna, the Unique One. Smooches, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!